movie that I acted in that was also, I think, a wonderful movie called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Terrific movie.
You were on that with Donald Sutherland?
That's right, yeah. And the song Amazing Grace was played in one of the, as a musical score to one of the scenes. I thought it was very powerful.
Can you tell us a little, with the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, it was a remake from the 50s, but very different, much darker version that came out.
I agree. Phil Kaufman, the director, had a very interesting vision for that movie. I thought he did it very, very well. I had a bizarre experience making that film. We shot it in San Francisco. Much of it was shot on the streets at night, various street lights. One night, I finished the scene and went back to my trailer. And as I was going up the steps into my trailer, I heard a voice behind me, a female voice, say, "Mr. Nimoy, would you sign an autograph for my 16-year-old son?" I said, sure, and I turned, and I saw a hand holding a piece of paper and a pen. I signed the autograph, and I handed it back, and I never even got a good look at the person. I stepped back into my trailer. A little while later, I was called back to work. I went back on the set. And when we finished, when we wrapped at about midnight, we went back to the motel, and we all agreed we're going to go out and have a meal together, the company, Donald Sutherland and Phil Kaufman and some others. I went to my room in the motel. Well, first I realized I didn't have my key. So I went to the desk and I said, I don't have my key, and they gave me a duplicate, and I went into the room. I stepped into the room, and I realized that quickly that somebody had been in my bed, and some of my clothes were missing, and a wallet was missing, with some identification, not a lot of money, but identification and so forth. I called the police, and I said, I have had a robbery, and they said, well, we'll send you a form you fill out. It doesn't look like a police officer at all. It's like a piece of paper. Okay, we'll send it over in the morning. You fill it out and file a report. I said, okay. And I went out to dinner, came back an hour or two later, and I walked into my room and the phone rang. And I picked it up and answered, hello. And a lady said, hi. I suppose you're missing your things by now. And I said, yes, I am. She said, do you remember you signed an autograph for my 16-year-old son? I said, yes, I do remember. Evidently, when I went back out, she stepped into my trailer and picked up the room key to my room at the motel. And it had the name of the motel and my room number. So she went directly there and she took these things. We had this scary conversation. I tried to keep her on the phone because I've learned from the TV shows that's what you're supposed to do.
To fill out. That doesn't sound like what would happen in T.J. Hooker or something of that nature. That's what I remember.
So I'm eliciting as much information as I can. Who are you? What do you do? What's going on? She told me, she said, I'm a nurse, but she said, I've written a movie, and Richard Brooks, very famous film director, is going to make this movie with my script. I said, well, congratulations. And she said, she said, would you like to come by and pick up your things? And I said, no. I said, I would rather have you deliver my things back to me. She said, right now, I'm you. And I said, how do you explain that? She said, I'm wearing your clothes. I didn't need to hear a lot after that. I let it go, and I said, well, I'd appreciate it if I get my stuff back. And we finished our conversation, and in the morning, I contacted the police. Oh, no, first I called Richard Brooks' office, the director. He had an office at Paramount Studio. I said to his assistant what I just told you, and she said, I don't know of any script that he has from anybody in San Francisco. Well, I said, here's my name and phone number, and if something comes up, please call me. Minutes later, the phone rang, and she said, a script just landed on my desk from San Francisco. And I said, do you mind giving me the name and the address? She said, sure. She gave it to me. So I called the police, and I said, I now have the name and address of the person. Got my stuff. And now they sent over a policeman. Yeah. And he said, okay. He said, we have some choices. He said, if you file this report and we go and arrest her, you will we'll be filing charges, and you will be called back to testify against her. That's one option. The other option is I can call her and identify myself as a police officer and ask if she simply wants to return your stuff, and that could be the end of it. I said, I'd rather do that, frankly. He said, okay. As he was heading for the phone, there was a knock on the door. We opened the door, and there's a belt man with all my stuff. He had just brought it back and deposited it downstairs, and that was the end of it.
Appropriate length of time. Then I fell asleep. Beyond Spock. Don't go anywhere, please. No. Pretty woman is always. So Beyond Spock. I've been listening.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as Beyond Spock. Nothing could happen without Spock. So you're talking about your life.
I am really.
But you've only started.
Only started my life, or only started talking about it?
Well, I think you were talking about it when you were born. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about it. No, but I mean, you've got so many things to do in the future now.
Yeah. Life is interesting.
Well, that's a neutral word. You've got this wonderful wife.
Yeah. So have you.
I know. Same girl, too, by the way. Right. So you've got this wonderful marriage, and you've got the world by the tail. And you're about to do it. You've traveled everywhere. You've gone all over the world. What do you like best?
I like best talking about your horses.
Well, that would be very nice, but the panel says Beyond Spock.
Oh, we've done that. We had a great time, great conversation.
I know.
We did, and
conversation. Your questions were great, but let's not lose that. What is Beyond Spock? What is Beyond Spock? I tell you, the guy is he's a marvelous human being. When did we first meet?
We first met in 1960. No.
We were on a television show together.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? What was it?
Man from Uncle.
Man from Uncle.
Yeah.
But the strange thing is we never met.
No, we were ships passing in the night.
Yeah.
We never worked in a scene together that I remember.
No.
No,
I would have remembered it. But then we met on the set of Star Trek.
You came to work on the second pilot. And a good thing you did too. We needed you. Jeffrey Hunter was a very good guy. Had done the first pilot and it didn't sell. And then when they went to make the pilot again to do a new pilot, he was, for whatever reason, he was not available. And we needed a new Captain Kirk. And there you came. And I was really, really happy to see you because I knew of your terrific acting background, your theatrical background, your film and TV background. And I was relieved.
Did you want to
They said to me, should we hire Bill Shatner? I said, absolutely, hire Bill Shatner. I'm kidding.
What did they say to me? Should we keep Spock? Did you want to play in the second pilot? Did you want to play Spock?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, steady work.
coming out. Home to buy.
Bills to pay.
Bills to pay. What did you see in the character that you...
Yeah, the character was potentially very interesting. We had not explored an awful lot of the first pilot. And in fact, we changed the look quite a bit from the first pilot.
See, the thing I remember most of all was you smiling in the first pilot.
That's right. And I was directed to do that.
Really?
And
what did they say? How do you get directed to smile?
There was a moment where we see some leaves that are kind of trembling in the wind and putting out a strange kind of sound. And the director said to me, touch it and react to it. So I touched it, and this was my reaction.
Subtle.
And he said, no, he said, enjoy it. He said, enjoy the fact that you're enjoying the sound. So, you know, smile. So I did. I did what I was being told.
Who directed that?
We're not going to name names.
Why not? He's dead.
No. Very good director.
Was he?
Very good director.
Except for that moment.
Except for that moment. His name was Robert Butler, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was that moment of an uncomfortable smile. There was also another strange moment where we were running, a group of us running across a set in a scene, and Gene Roddenberry was on the set, and he came to me and he said, Spock should have a limp.
Why?
I said, why? And he said, well, we want to get the sense that this is a continuation of a previous story, and Spock has been injured in a previous story. So I limped across the set.
That's the story.
And if you watch that episode carefully, you'll see me limping and you'll never know why.
But smiling. But because you grasp...
Are we doing Raw Nerve? Is that what we're doing?
We are. We're doing a Spock
great
interview.
show. Raw Nerve, great show.
We're doing Spock on Raw Nerve. We're doing Spock on Raw Nerve.
Yeah.
But it's even more complex because we're doing the actor doing the role. Because what I'm asking the actor, when the moment came that you thought, I don't think I can smile. When did you grasp that moment? When did you say no, the character wouldn't smile?
I can tell you.
But not now. Because they're listening and you don't want them to hear it.
There really was a very special moment. We were doing, I think, the very first episode we filmed. I think it was called the Corbomite Maneuver. And there was this strange personage, creature or something on the screen that was scaring us and getting in our way. Whichever way you turned the ship, that thing would be pop up again right there in front of us, blocking our path.
That had that blonde in it, didn't it?
That's what you remember.
Yeah. And you remember not smiling.
No. On the contrary, there was energy on the bridge, and you were saying, turn this way, and somebody would say, yes, sir, I got it, and we're going to do it, and so forth and so on. And I had one word to say, and my word was fascinating. And I said it like that, I said, fascinating. And the director, bless him.
Who was that again?
I believe it was Joe Sargent.
Yeah.
I believe it was Joe Sargent. He said to me, no, do it scientifically. Do it as a scientific curiosity. Wow. And that's the moment I got it. It was a big, big help.
Wow.
And instead of fascinating, I said, fascinating.
Joe Sargent went on, even before that, because he'd been a director in live television, but he went on to have a full, I don't know if he's still alive or not.
I don't know.
Everybody else is, they're dying by the
Wonderful
they're dying. Every time you look around, somebody's dying. Somebody's dying. Of old age, too.
He's still alive?
But Joe Sargent went on to be
Very talented.
Very talented.
He directed a project that I produced called Never Forget, which was a story about a Holocaust survivor that I acted in. And he directed it.
Because in that moment, when he said, do it scientifically, that was the essence of what a director should do.
That's right.
He didn't attempt to read the line for you. He attempted to give you a general idea of what he thought the line should be, and then the actor, grasping the thought of the director, takes that thought and amplifies it into a whole character, which is where you found the core of the character.
That's exactly what I would have said if I was a chance.
That's beyond Spock.
You're absolutely right. He gave me a character opportunity.
Yeah.
He gave me a way to do it as a character.
Yeah, I wish I had said that.
Are you having fun at DragonCon?
Are you both having fun at DragonCon?
Is this DragonCon? This is the most fun I've ever had. But that parade that was on CNN, were you guys in it? Any of you guys in it? Three of you. Okay. The parade was incredible. Made the CNN news.
Yeah.
I heard that we were mentioned on some other national news thing. I mean, it's like big time news here in Atlanta. DragonCon. I thought that before I left, and I know you're going for another hour or so. I thought I'd mention that you and I are signing autographs at 1 o'clock. I didn't want to.
Where?
Why are you asking me? You know?
If I am correct, and I hope somebody jumps out and tells me if I'm not, but if I'm correct, it's 1 o'clock where you were yesterday, and we're at the Hilton.
Where?
At the Marriott.
At the Marriott.
Oh,
Wait, the Hilton?
at the Hilton.
It's the Hilton. You're at the Marriott right now. You're at the
You
Hilton.
get this Marriott Hilton thing? What is it?
Well,
Well, I know, but there's a bridge, and there's a thing, and there's a walk.
We'll be at the Hilton signing autograph, but we will be here at the Marriott for a photo session. Or are we not?
No.
No, we're done with that.
No.
Okay.
Wait a minute, the boss is talking.
Walk of Fame at 1 o'clock.
Walk of Fame. With a Cape Mall group.
and the Walk of Fame is at the
Please come
Hilton.
by because Bill wants to talk to each and every one of you individuals.
One last question.
We are actually at time, but I want to ask one last question because, as I said earlier, I have a 10-year-old son who is now getting into watching the original series. And if there is, I'm doing my best to raise him right, thank you. So, if there is one thing as he's watching that you would want him to take from Star Trek, from this amazing show, what is it?
That's a great question. I'll tell you why.
This is beyond Spock.
No, I think you'd agree that at age 10, he will see a certain level of the show. And he will be intrigued with the action and with the creatures and the events that take place. As a person who's grown older and sees that same episode again, they begin to realize that there are other levels to these stories. They begin to appreciate that. And that's why I think the reruns have been so successful. People come back to revisit the show, to discover new aspects of the show. I'm sure you would have said that if you had a chance.
What I was going to say was, take your son, square him up to the television set. You know, you're looking at the screen, he's looking at the screen. Have him extend his right arm. Slowly advance towards the screen. Take that on and off knob and go. And have him go out and play football for Georgia.